Yep. So what is it? I want to do a video. I want to do more development. I haven't done some development in a short time. Short time, but still. It's been long enough. The current thing that I'm working on is, you may recognize this from that 5 videos that I uploaded. Well, yeah, they actually related to something. To be precise, World of Kirbycraft. And of course, since I've recovered them, I wasn't just playing them. I don't know if I mentioned it ever in those videos, but I'm actually continuing those hacks. Yeah, it's kind of hard to get back into something like Doom, but at least I've improved after I sucked so much at the beginning of that first video. Go look at it if you haven't, because it shows me actually sucking at Doom. Which is something I never thought I'd do, because I'm good at Doom. I'm bad at going against people in multiplayer, but I'm also bad at that in Call of Duty, so I'm bad in all the games against people online. Well, except for the exception of like one game I actually can't think of, but still. Oh yeah, I think it's when I was racing online. I still sucked against those really good racers, but it doesn't involve me getting killed every few seconds. The main thing that's being done here is a script. It's a script that wasn't actually in the game whenever I played it, though. But it's a script. The script is basically the dialogue system. At the moment, it never appears in game, but you can make it appear in game. You may wonder how. The way is obvious. It's through puking. I'm not actually referring to actual puking, but still. It's one of the console commands. There's actually a console command in ZDoom and GZDoom, and you can puke to force scripts to happen. It's a really weird term for it. But yeah, we also have lots of updates. It seems the GZDoom builder updates a lot more now. I mean, it's probably updating to the latest development version. Those things get released pretty fast. Makes you worry one of these is gonna like corrupt my map, or it's going to make it say, like ZDoom's gonna start up and it's gonna say map 1 has no vertexes or whatever. Oh yeah, and every time it crashes like that, I have to go in here and set this thing to white. Because I prefer dark themes. I think that websites other than one website and GameFAQs should have dark themes. Why is everything else so bright? I don't want a blinding light in the middle of the night, thank you. Well. Oh yeah, and one little thing up here that you probably never see in a script. Include x_walk.acs. You actually have my own .acs file in the same folder as zcommon.acs. And basically it just includes a few defines. I don't know if these are gonna work because, well, I haven't actually tried linking these defined names. I'm assuming I'm gonna have to edit a file in GZDoom Builder to make it recognize it as a thing I can enter here. Though they're gonna be used for part of the dialogue code, which I will now puke. So basically I'm just gonna puke 65 because that's the name of it. It's not anything iconic like 311. 311 is not in this game. 311, the band reference, will only be there if there's rain. Yeah, I'm keeping that consistent. If there's no rain, there's no 311. Now there are 4 different arguments. I thought that there were 5 arguments, but as shown here there's only 4. I think I thought there were 5 because in Doom Builder, if you look at a line that has the ACS executing, it has 5 different text fields, and 4 of them are arguments. One of them is the script number / name. But I think I, for some reason, saw those 5 text fields and assumed it had 5 variables. There was originally a voice acting variable where the voice acting could be set differently and therefore could be reused. Unfortunately, now the voice acting is just set to refer to the same IDs as the other one. It refers to a different array, but it refers to the same ID within the array as the ID for the dialogue that appears on screen. If I'm not mistaken, the first one is what text you want to appear on the screen. Sadly, I cannot actually send strings to this. Yeah, in ZDoom, if you try sending strings to a script, it just shows you an error. They have to be already written in the script, or they have to be written in an array, which is really annoying, but still. The first one is the text ID. The second one is the side. At the moment, this makes everything stop rendering if you enter 0. Why? Because it only checks for 1, as shown here, if side 1. Therefore, yeah, ID of text, side, picture, and then a ref script, which means it basically refers back to the original script that executed this. Because dialogue will work like this. There will be a script that like makes the cutscene appear and look as it should, and then it'll run, at the last moment when it's done, it'll run a script that will execute this. Then it will pause or suspend itself. It'll wait until you push a button, and then this script will send a command back to the other one to keep executing. And it'll just keep going back and forth as it keeps getting sent more information. This seems like a potentially pretty genius thing, and there isn't that much code written. So if we enter 0111, we'll get a certain thing. At the moment, I think that what it'll do is it'll put no picture on the side. It'll make the text appear over here, and it'll say something like, here's another demonstration of the text. Yeah, as shown here, this is what it looks like right now. And yeah, there's one problem about the text. I've seen that the text wraps, meaning it automatically moves down a line when it runs out of space. But ever since I switched its size, it now doesn't wrap anymore. And I don't know how to specify the boundaries, or else I'll probably specify it right before that question mark on the side. That question mark would actually then count as the boundary. Sadly, at the moment it doesn't, so I actually have to manually put in the \n to make it move down a line. But still, normally you'd be frozen in place and you'd be staring at something. Then once you push the use button or the shoot button, it would return back to the script. But since there's no valid script, it says P start script unknown script 1. So yeah, it literally says that, but luckily it only says it once. In the past it said it twice, and the script kept making the text reappear. Yeah, it's really weird. But now, I can puke another one. I'm gonna try 1101. I thought that typing in 1 would not make the question mark appear, which, based on its coloring, you can already tell it's just a little placeholder graphic, which is made specifically to see if it would fit, and sadly, due to there being no decimal values whenever you have it on the set HUD size, that therefore means this is the closest it can get to the edge. It kind of bugs me it clips into the edge like that. I could fix it, but would it be worth it? Still. There's one more line of dialogue, and by typing in 1101, we should see no picture on the side, because normally a picture would appear, but it won't appear now because apparently I got them backwards. But it should say something along the lines of, this text never should appear, did you choose the wrong ID? As shown there. That time I pushed the use button instead of the shoot button. Which, obviously, ends up making that happen. It just makes that little error appear, but later on it'll make the script make this fade away, which of course you won't be able to see it fade away because it'll immediately override its variables. But that's the intention. Hard cuts, I don't like hard cuts, they look really lazy, and that's the way this thing appears, because if it faded in, it would just hard cut to nothing. If it faded out, then faded in, it'd be better. But then it wouldn't fit as much. So I was thinking fade out. Now I want to find what's responsible for... because look at the text box. Does something seem odd? When I go between these two options, you probably can't really see it, but there's actually transparency. Yeah, I was running it in a mode where there wasn't transparency, or a texture compression format. But as shown here, if I end up pointing at the sky, you can see the sky and the wall right through the text box. This is pointless as, due to the huge size of this text box, I probably won't make it appear in gameplay. So you only see this in cutscenes, but any other time, you know that print-based text that appeared in my older hacks? That's essentially what will appear. Print text looks really unprofessional in my opinion compared to these HUD messages, but they take more time to write, and as shown here, they can get in your way. So this giant dialogue box is going to cover up most of my scenes of any cutscene, but hopefully it will still look good. And plus, at least this will be an improvement from the past, where in the past the messages would disappear, and remember you'd see me bringing down the top to read what it says. I wouldn't need to do that anymore, as long as I didn't accidentally skip the script. This therefore means that we should just see this for as long as we have to see it for. Also, I'm kind of surprised I didn't just glitch that out. I just saw a glitch. That platform's weird. But still, let's just jump out of bounds. Yeah. And this may remind you of the Portal mod development, which by the way I've given up on that level. Plus I wouldn't really want to return to the source engine. I may miss the source engine eventually, but there's one reason why I won't want to go back to it. I blame the source engine's slower speed and gameplay for why that I sucked at Doom when I came back to it. I think I'd rather be good at Doom than Half-Life. Or at least I know that with Doom there's Z-Doom, which will let me customize a lot of the aspects of, you know, the behavior of the game. I can't do that with Half-Life 2 unless I really screwed around with those weird entities you stick in. Or if you end up learning about all those entities, or if you mod the engine's code, but why would I want to do that? If there's any scripting language I want to know, it's ACS. Which I still remember. ACS being Z-Doom's code here, obviously. It's based on C++, but I mentioned in the past I tried using something that was C++, and I sucked at it and could not get it to do anything. So apparently I'm only good at ACS and Robotic and Megazooks, even though I'm not going to be that good at Megazooks Robotic now. But yeah. So what do I want to actually develop instead of wasting any more time, since, well, I've already wasted 13 minutes. Obviously, I'm going to end up making the text fade away. Because at the moment, it's really weird how the text appears on screen. Basically, what happens is, the text appears on screen, but then no matter what you push, it never goes away. Also, notice how I just sped up the text. That's a lot better of a text speed, oh my. But notice it never goes away. It's supposed to go away. I already said it's supposed to fade away. I don't know if this is going to look as good, but I'm thinking I'm going to have to somehow switch this type on back to a fade out. Because I just want it to look like the text fades out, but remember, this part is done based on a variable. It means I'll literally have to use that variable every time I reference this. Thankfully it'll only get referenced twice, but still. Preferably I want to queue up everything before I tell that other script to come back. Because otherwise, who knows, it may interfere, because the script will do it the instant it's resumed, because there will probably be no delays in between them. Delays would probably allow me to spread out the fade in, fade out animation, but I don't know. And now obviously I just realized I technically need to copy and paste everything. All three of these have to be copied and pasted. It's also important that the set HUD size is copied as well, Because if you look at the last HUD message, it has a different set HUD size. As shown there, it's approximately like 1/2 bigger, so it's like 1 1/2 times bigger than the other ones, which makes the text smaller because the text was humongous before, and if I'm planning on putting a little tiny picture on the side, which now it looks kind of squished in game, but you know, what am I gonna do? Might as well just make this stuff appear here. So I'm just gonna program it to only be on screen for a split second, so it appears to just fade out. 999. Now I need to note what these are. I think it's hold time, fade time, alpha. The hold time, fade time, and alpha should be these, so I should remove this because that's type time. What I don't like about HUD message is just how advanced it is. I mean, it's a good thing it's so advanced, but it's so strange I have to put a semicolon here. You don't have to put a semicolon anywhere else. Like, you don't have to put one in the middle of a command, but you have to here, and according to the ZDoom Wiki, it's because of the print method of how it writes its text. Because it can be done the same way as print, which is an interesting thing, because it means I can essentially do the same thing with print. But as I said, these messages are too big for the game. Now I don't know if I should just make another HUD message thing, but I've already gone through enough trouble with HUD messages. I'd rather just make it a print message on the screen. Problem about print is it fades out after like 3 seconds. It reminds me of Megazooks's... Print reminds me of Megazooks's asterisk command, where if you type it asterisk, it writes a little flashy message at the bottom of the screen unless you give it a certain color. But it disappears after a few seconds automatically by default as well. It's a bit annoying if you're kind of hoping to be able to actually customize it. I don't know why I'm trying to type an untranslated. Untranslated is the color as shown here. Oh, great, I haven't even switched back. There's why I check. To make sure you're not still stuck looking at the game. This reminds me of the Mega Man Extreme video, where I got stuck showing the hex editor on screen. But then OBS, cough, 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 why? Cough, cough, ended up, making the hex editor keep glitching out, so I was never showed to you. Well, at least without the trouble of having to make sure that it doesn't freeze, because if my laptop lags for a second, then OBS glitches out, and I can't trust that it's even recording anymore. It usually doesn't save my changes either. So this ought to make some of the text disappear. I think that this will make everything but the background disappear. Now, okay. Why isn't the text disappearing? I'm confused. Why isn't the text disappearing? The picture disappeared. That's nice, I guess. I don't know if that long fade out is good, but I guess that's why you make this a script. Also, since these external ACS files work, even though technically what it does when you include something is it sort of embeds it into the script like it was there. But that means later on I'm just going to split these off into separate ACS files and then just tell each level to include the common scripts and only include the ones that aren't going to be common. Like zcommon.acs and the defines from x_walk.acs. This is all for obvious reasons. And the reason's pretty obvious. It's so that I don't have to update the code, and you may argue with saying you said it was embedding. Well, it is embedding, but there's a catch with embedding. If I go back and then tell it to recompile the scripts for the level, then it ought to update it with the newest versions from that ACS file. So if I'm able to keep that ACS file more up to date than the game itself, then maybe it might be possible. But don't ask me to but I'll tell you that's how it's gonna work. I need to fix this though. I copy and paste this and I find myself getting lazy, leaving the program or just completely forgetting what I'm doing, only to come back and wonder why my code doesn't work. And look, I haven't even changed any of this stuff. I make the whole time 0.1 seconds because I don't know if you actually have to make that a length in order for it to work. Well, I was trying to set that to 1.1. I guess I saw 0.1 and thought it was 0.1. I don't even know what I was thinking there, but oh well. This should hopefully make all the text disappear. Let's see if it works. Yes! It all fades out. That fade out does seem kind of slow. I mean, I know that, as I said, every one of the dollar boxes is going to overwrite this, and it makes me think of so many decisions right now. Like, shouldn't I just make another HUD message thing instead of print? And respectively, shouldn't I just modify the script to make it fade in? But then I keep thinking, how much slower is this going to make conversation? How much more troubling is it going to make when the voice acting starts immediately and it goes ahead of everything while everything's still fading in? Plus, the type on text. If you ever end up looking at the ZDoom wiki, it literally can't fade in. Yeah, as shown here on type on right here, it literally says type, hold time, type time, fade time. Fade time is the same as fade out. This one has end time on it. It's kind of annoying they don't make a type fade in out, because that'd be cool, because then there'd be a way to make the typed on text fade in as it's being typed on. Why do I feel like if anyone sent that as a feature request to the creators of ZDoom, they would just say, it's useless. Just like getting the computer time. Despite the fact that despite the fact that it and Megazooks both are capable of checking your computer's clock, there's barely any reason if a source port based on ZDoom is implementing it. And it's server based, and they mainly said the main problem with it would be, well, obviously, problems with inconsistencies of time, as opposed to offline, and how saves would screw it up. But then, why is Andronum something that's relying on online multiplayer have it? Then doesn't make much sense now, does it? But now, I think I'm gonna speed up that fade out because it really does look a bit too big. I feel kind of bad having these links, but 0.5. This one doesn't look like it even has a space after the comma. It doesn't. We compile. You can tell if it compiles without errors because it either says it right there or it just doesn't have problems. One thing to watch out for is to make sure that you don't have GZDoom running when you run the game. I think that GZDoom Builder must keep track of the game you're running right now, because I believe in the past, Doom Builder 2 or an old version of GZDoom Builder would refuse to let you do anything until you close the game, meaning it's keeping track of the EXE. However, as shown at the beginning, if you have it open twice and you close out the one that it's looking for, you close out the other one, apparently GZDoom Builder is still looking for it, so it reports an error when you close it for some reason. I don't know why they still have that in there. I hope they either remove it or they re-add the behavior where they don't let you do anything until you close the game. Because what's the point of checking for the game if you still will let me use you in the background and let me launch a second version of the game that in turn results in this glitch? I don't understand, but I hope that GZDoom Builder fixes this bug because it sounds so easy. Just literally don't let you launch a second game when you're still looking for a game. I know this text is longer than the other one, but still shows you how nice that the text looks. Yeah. Now I'm worried it's a bit too fast, though. I'm a bit picky about my times. As I mentioned with the first development video, the reason why I don't really like to do these sometimes is for obvious reasons. Because other people who make like tutorials, they don't really care about perfection. So they'll just skip over it or figure, this isn't actually a law I'm actually going to release, so I'm not going to put as much effort into it. Well, if they're making it on their own time, they probably would actually bother to put detail into it. So anyway, though, now that I've upped their fade outs, they should look as expected. But however, I also want to add in the other side. Yes, if you're curious, I do comment my code a lot. This will only really help me, and, well, what? All these look near identical. The only differences between them is this part and this part. Sometimes this part, but as shown here, this second part just reuses the smaller HUD size. Oh yeah, and there's also another thing I never showed you in the game, because in these development videos, they usually tell you about anything new that I add to the game. Still side equals 0. Now I can safely just push my little keyboard shortcut on the keyboard, which is the backslash button, which I currently have assigned to that Puke 65. A very quick way to test it because it just launches it with all 0 parameters. But also you might notice that there's actually a HUD in game. It's my first actual attempt at making a custom in-game HUD. And yeah, that health bar down there tells you something about Arthas, by the way. If you look at Mary, she only has that much health. 100, and well, may I just point out, why that this is a bad idea? Just one of her attacks can kill her. She's really one that should have more health, with how overpowered her attacks are. But notice that Arthas gets an extra part to it, though. Arthas gets an extra little blue part at the end. And the blue part at the end, well, it just represents that he has over 100 health. And while his own attacks actually can't hurt him, the downside about him is that he has to get near every one of his enemies. Whoa. See, that took out only a little bit of his health, but imagine if he has to run near a huge troll. Look at how much they hurt him! Yeah, he really takes down his health quite a lot. He's already down like to below 150 health. Also, you might wonder what that number is. Well, not to waste much time here, but it's actually something I brought back from the past. Now we're gonna have YouTubeception. You're watching a YouTube video on YouTube. I'm going on YouTube in a YouTube video to go show you one of my YouTube videos. YouTubeception. Also, I have 280 subscribers. Thank you, all your subscribers! Especially my newest ones. They've helped to keep the number going. It stopped at like 274 before, and oh my, it's 10 o'clock. Yeah, Maxton's gonna let you know about that. Yeah, may I point out, it's a browser that no one ever brings up. And Facebook kinda hates their website. Not as much as Zane.tk. No, they don't block it. They just find it suspicious. Facebook, you never fail to confuse me. So where is this old video set? I think I'm going to search for it. I bet that at least one of you watching has caught on to what this could possibly be. It's from the old Doom 2: The Monster Invasion. You see those things in front of the screen right there? Those things, that's just a hint. on what this is. And then I just found the point where they become relevant. Right here. Now watch what happens right here. Do you see the number at the bottom of the screen? It looks suspiciously similar in terms of how it's laid out. This isn't exactly a coincidence. Because yes, this is actually the same thing returning. Now I'm not putting sonic rings in, but still. You can see that the little counter is placed in the same general area of the screen. Now back in the day I actually scripted that with a HUD message. This new one is done using CVAR info. You may think, but saying that doesn't support custom variables. I actually think it does, I just haven't read the ZDoom wiki enough to confirm that. But however, I'm just using the built-in items and total items variables. You may wonder how exactly that works though. Isn't it obvious though? The way is I make none of my items count towards the item percentage at the end of the level. Therefore, these new items, which are totally not Tauruses from Anime Studio Pro, with well, they're not what looks like Tauruses with you know, with the little center part. I don't even know if those are Tauruses. Are those circles I made, or are those the outlines? I think those are the outlines. That's why they couldn't have textures. But then again, neither can 3D Tauruses, and it looks similar enough. But oh well, you now notice that the thing at the bottom now says 0 out of 7. It increases because these are the only objects that I'll have programmed in that you'll be able to earn in this Doom hack that are counted as counted as items that will count towards that percentage at the end of the level. Therefore, watch that number in the bottom as I pick these up. Every time I pick up one, that number increases. So now I have all 19 of them. This will sort of be like a collection type of thing. It made me think of like Spyro. You may think it's like Sonic, but in Sonic your goal is not to collect every ring in the level. I don't know if it's in Spyro either, but I'm assuming because that's what people do. Whenever they speedrun that game, they go and get every gem in the level. So basically this is sort of like Spyro, but without the non-linearity. Because there you'll be able to revisit a level and collect any of them you missed. Here, no. You leave the level and you're stuck without that last ring. It's not a ring, but coin. Call them rings because that's what they used to be. Well, not to say that the Sonic ring graphics were in this game. No. They were never in this game. These little coins are instead what they were replaced with. It reminds me of like, it's almost like if Sega would like try to throw some nonsensical lawsuit nonsense at me. That's what it would be like, you know, it's like, let's make a legal alternative to the Sonic ring. Let's just stick in a coin. Obviously, since this is fan-made, none of the legal crap would apply to me anyways, but still. You still know that still I'm figuring, let's make this more original. So it reminds me of those companies, because while they do it to avoid legal crap, I am just doing it myself. But I'm making these generic coins, just like how those game companies make generic stuff like the medieval times. Generic stuff that doesn't have a copyright. Like these coins! Except these coins are totally custom. And they were totally not animated in Anime Studio Pro like I just had on off. But anyways, there actually is a graphic in the PK3 that actually can't be seen. It can only be seen in Slade, but it's a picture of Arthas and Mary. Mary's, I think, holding her umbrella, and Arthas just like standing there, isn't he? I think he's just like standing there? Yeah, she's holding her umbrella. There's Mary's umbrella, by the way, if you're curious.
Is it cute?
I guess.
Yay! I knew it's cute. Thanks for giving it to me.
No problem, but I still worry about being able to see you holding that cute thing.
Don't worry.
Oh, that cutie. Still. You can see on here Arthas and Mary. This is a normally unused picture because at the moment you cannot get to any other levels. And based on its name alone, Interpick, that totally hints on it being the intermission screen. The only way it can be seen in game is if you type in change map and then you type in the name of another level and you don't screw up how it's spelled. Then you will see the picture in game. It's unused otherwise. Sadly, this picture is not widescreen compatible and that really bugs me. It bugged me about the original intermission screen as well. This one, thankfully, since Arthas and Mary aren't touching the boundaries of the picture, will be able to very easily be extended. But this picture isn't compressed to the, well, I was about to call it the Doom palette, but obviously this isn't the Doom palette. This is the World of Kirbycraft palette, obviously, because, well, it's obviously way different than the Doom palette. But still, though, notice I have 91% items. Collect them all, then hit change. Then I'm getting exactly 100. Oh yeah, and by the way, this is how the sound test looks in the true 3D render. And you can see it totally doesn't exactly, its blue color looks more noticeable, but the blue color, it just doesn't look the same. Like, that fog color, you can tell this is designed for the fake 3D renderer. You can just tell, just based on how the fog would look a lot better if I actually customized it correctly. Also, that's an old snow texture on the ground right there. It's planning on getting replaced with the new texture, which I still have in a folder somewhere. It looks a lot more pixelated and might blend in better than that, which I'm thinking I compressed from a picture. Don't know what picture, but I think I compressed it with something. But still, I might as well explain the rest of the HUD. I find it kind of ironic. I tend to drag on and I forget things with many videos. But still, it's time to actually get serious and explain this. First off, take ammo, take weapons. So, with Arthas, there's one thing you'll never see. Basically, down at the bottom left corner is, well, the ring count, or coin count, not ring count, and your health thing. Up in the upper right corner is your current weapons icon. As of now, there's only one actually in the game, and that's that custom-made hammer icon, which if you look closely, you can see a lot of perspective errors with it, which gives away it's not the 3D model from Anime Studio Pro. I still have that on hand if you're curious, but no, it's not the very low polygon Anime Studio Pro model that he holds. I mean, nothing. But still, though, it's still a very similar thing. But however, with Mary, things are a bit different. You probably saw whenever the Doom pistol was on screen that there was a 50 down there. Anyone who's played Doom will know that the pistol starts with 50 ammo, obviously. All of Mary's weapons, her cup-based weapons, if you rewind back there, you'll notice there was no number at the bottom. Now there's a 0. That's specifically because there's actually an ammo for this. Remember, before it was like the rocket ammo replacement. But however, now I've completely hidden the HUD. It can only be seen if you turn off Z-Doom's alternative HUD. But watch whenever she's done drinking out of this, and you'll see the number down there increase. See, that's 16 now. That's the number of uses. Which you can see it works perfectly. But however, there's another fix. Before with the cup-based weapons, whenever Mary would run out of ammo, she's normally supposed to talk about how her magical powers went away or something. But you know I couldn't hear it because the moment that code ran, immediately it would just jump back to the ready state without any delay, and the result would be that you would immediately start drinking out of it again, unless you pushed it for a split second. I've now fixed that, and now all three of the weapons have to go through a little brief phase where nothing happens. And this happens automatically too. You don't just keep seeing your hand until you decide to push the button again. So now you're actually forced to hear her for a split second. I'm going to be holding down the fire button after this, and listen, and you'll notice that there's a delay. See that? She was almost able to say I lost, but that's the required delay. You have to wait at least that long into her dialogue. None of her three, including the one where she cries, none of those you actually have to hear her crying in. Not like hearing her crying would be so much of a problem because, well, you have to hear her cry whenever she defeats big monsters sometimes anyways. And she also cries at the boss and all that. At least I think she cries at the bosses. I don't know. She cries at everything, so I don't know. It's not surprising if she cries at the boss. But there's no captions for that. Okay, yeah, I was right. There we go, there we go. There we go. I just heard her cry. I just heard that. I must turn this up. Because you must hear her cry. It's unrelated to development, but you must hear Mary cry. So let's find the one where she cries. No, wait. That's not the one where she cries? Oh, she must have cried in the previous one, this one. Yeah. That's so funny about Mary. She's all like crying at him and stuff, and then Joyce just tell him, "Oh, no, I'm not scared of you." We'll give her to Arthas, who's just outright saying he's not scared of them. My characters are funny sometimes. But anyways, after that moment of hearing her cry, then yeah. Interesting, I never switched to the game view, but maybe that's for the good so I don't accidentally get stuck in it. But still. It's interesting this is here. I'm kind of wondering what will happen if I clicked on any of those. But while loops and until loops are still here. If you're curious, there's a until loop in here somewhere. Somewhere. Wait, where's the until loop? There it is. I thought I got rid of it because this code is identical to the code up here. Speaking of that, once this code is done, it has to be copied down there as well and modified. Another type on has to be converted to a fade out. I'm not looking forward to that at all. Yes, we're gonna have to mess around with it anyways. But for now, we're gonna have to try executing it with different variables. Because now we have to move the picture over, which is this value right here, 274. But now we need to enter a new value. I'd assume it should be the same as this one, which is 26. That should move this one over to like 250 something. Then hit this, then that. Well, done correctly, then whenever we puke this with different values, we should see different results. Oh, there it is! Also, those are really off. Like, oh, what should we do with this? Oh, let's stick a question mark way over to the left. Let's stick the text way off the right border. This is going to be really hard to align because I'm not going to switch the text alignment. It's literally going to fly out of that right border if I'm not careful. Also, currently playing is the only pretty cure music in my playlist. Surprising with how cute the girls are that I don't end up having more of those little cutes. So, let's get rid of that. Oh wait, I'm kind of curious what would happen if I executed this one and then I try to shoot. It makes the background disappear. Everything else, let's just keep it floating there. Oh yeah, and for now I kind of want to show a bad bug that happens in the newest versions of GZ Doom. I don't remember this happening before. And I remember being up close to lots of my monsters in the past. You might wonder what possible glitch I could have discovered. The reason, it's quite simple. I'm just gonna try spawning a monster. And when I do, you're gonna see the glitch. And now you might wonder, what could possibly happen? And the answer is, that's what could happen. Yes, you weren't just seeing things. If I get hit by enough of these guys, they somehow fly me through walls. Like I literally went in a straight line from all the way over there to through this wall around that corner. I don't know how this happens, but I've done it with invulnerability on, but that time I just managed to do it without invulnerability on. I'm pretty sure that standing near any of them, however, will cause it to happen. Nope, it doesn't happen with these guys. Okay, never mind, it does. It only happens when you walk away from them. This one, I'm pretty sure you just stand near him and he teleports you. It's rather inconsistent, but it's a weird bug that they need to fix. Catches, how would I describe it? Oh, I made a custom monster, and when I get near him, he hits the ground, and then I go flying, teleporting backwards. It's like a zip in Doom. Look at that. It's like a zip. I literally fly at really high speeds. Great. Teleport! I mean, couldn't speedrunners abuse this? Like, if these guys are in a big room, they could just intentionally stand near him, and then they would teleport him to the other end of the room, and they would very quickly fly through my level. But let's demonstrate how it normally happened, and this is how I found the glitch. I was just playing around, just hitting these guys, when randomly one of them hit me and sent me flying through a wall. That doesn't... No, wait, never mind, there it went. Boom. I don't know what causes that, but I'm assuming it makes me fly this far within one tick, which the tick is the measurement of time in the Doom engine. So maybe it sends me flying so fast that I literally just teleport right here because I get thrown so fast, but then why would this wall suddenly catch me? Plus, if you look at the auto map, do you see that messed up part up there around that corner? You see how the game thinks that I saw those line devs over there, but I only reached here and then went over here. Apparently I teleport so fast that I must be like right here out of bounds, because see from here I'm actually able to see those walls. So maybe from there I'm somehow able to see those walls, and then it teleports me here. I don't remember this bug happening before, so it makes me wonder, did a new version of something introduce it? Or was I just not that close? Because I'm pretty sure I've always been near huge trolls. Yeah, I don't remember them. He just teleported me twice. 3 times! Literally. It's only the huge one that does it most. But also I want to point something out. The song that's playing right now, it's actually that mysterious piano song that I said came on when I was watching videos that one night. Look at part 5 of my racing game, Let's Play, and you'll see that I mentioned that you'll see that I mentioned that a mysterious piano song came on, and it sounded all creepy. This is it right here. Place_M. From Tokimeki Memorial, Girls Side, 3rd story. I mean, you hear those piano notes? Those are the same ones. I put it in this playlist specifically to hope it would get played. Because that'd be a moment where I could point it out. But yeah, now it kind of bugs me about that teleportation thing. Because I don't remember it happening before, and clearly, with how close I stand near my monsters, plus you even watched me hitting them in that one video. If this glitch did exist back then, you would have seen me teleport at least once. I never did. I don't even remember updating my GZ Doom or modifying the monster's code. Except for the Q corpse thing, which... well, that's only done to keep it from lagging, because I discovered that none of their guts disappear. Those little colorful pieces on the floor, as Mary would say. This therefore means that the game would really start lagging if I had too many, and that's not going to be fun for the player. As I say, lag shouldn't exist. But we still now need to get back to our code, though. You may wonder, how are we going to fix this code? Well, obviously, we just have to mess around with 2 coordinates. One for the little picture that appears, one for the other thing. The text itself. Therefore, well, it's now time that we fix that code. So now to start things off, though, we obviously have to change these numbers. $32 and $64. Well, it looks aligned to the picture. Still. Still more to fix. What am I going to fix next? Obviously I just have to move the picture a bit to the right and move the text over to the right along with it. Well, speaking of, let's just go ahead and get this out here. Looks almost aligned. Maybe a bit more to the right. It's really close to being in alignment. You have to be interested in the RAM scare cam just because this is such a scary game. We need a scare cam. Whoa. The obvious main reason being just because, whoa, we just need a scare cam for no reason. Gotta make sure the game isn't already running, or else we'll run into problems. Something tells me that's as aligned as we're gonna get it. It looks one pixel off though, so it's really tempting to just move it. This actually looks pretty in alignment. Because the top rope looks fine, the side rope looks fine, and the bottom rope looks fine. All of them appear to fit in their corners. Since all of them appear to look fine, it therefore makes me end up questioning, does this look good? Well, it appears to. Also, I make sure that the text is aligned square to the corner. Not to this corner, of course, as hinted on the text flying out the right side, but on the upper left corner of the text, I verify that it can fit vertically, horizontally, and diagonally, and it appears to fit vertically, horizontally, and diagonally. Seems kind of strange, but I'm really a perfectionist about if this thing lines up vertically, horizontally, and diagonally in every other direction and stuff. So it appears to line up perfectly. Therefore, this is now the left side image alignment. Now that side variable that I talked about like 1 hour ago is obviously going to be finally able to be seen in action. So say one person talked to the other person. Well, obviously it would look kind of like this. The one person talks, their thing appears on the left side. It fades out. And then, then the second person talks and it appears on the left side. So see, this is how that it works. The first person talks, appears on the left side. The second person talks, it appears on the right side. That's why this whole picture thing is so important. It'll keep me from having to say Arthas and then a colon and then something. That will still appear if I use the print method. Should be obvious, but obviously if you don't take the voices into account, it's not going to be obvious who's talking at any given time, so this will be important. But still, the tricky part is also going to be getting those pictures ready. Because now, just based on what that code says, it's pretty obvious that there have to be pictures of all the characters with all their different facial expressions. But like everything, the actual story will probably not be planned out until after this. Well, except for the obvious part about Arthur's lab in the distance. It's pretty obvious this is where Arthur is going to come from, and hence why he starts here. I don't know how I'd be able to fit Mary into all this. Like, how's a random little girl somehow end up outside of this lab? It's not even explainable at all. Still, a lot of the code is here, though. Like the dialogue system. I'm thinking about just copying and pasting this. And then just replacing the numbers with the numbers from the one up here. So for pick test, which I now realize, I think that whenever Doom Builder or Crash Driller, I lost some data. That's unfortunate. It's frustration to technology and beta software. But it's not supposed to say pick test. Because obviously, that's just the placeholder. I mean, that explains why earlier I said that an image wouldn't appear and it appeared. It's because this script is actually hard-coded to make it appear. This is, I guess, what hard coding is, by making it so it'll only be one thing. So I have to replace pick test with an array. Because I think that if you look at the top, yeah, there's an array right there named portraits. Portraits too, and I hope that I didn't have it stuck in the game all this time. That'd be really embarrassing. But I have to replace it with the portraits. Portraits, and then the array number, that little thing in square brackets. That's the, that's gonna be, I think I have to refer to this, yeah, picture. And no quotation marks. I was about to put in quotation marks, but no, don't put in quotation marks. There. Well, as well as they still have errors. I should have included the first quotation mark, because now I have to remove the quotation mark, or else we're gonna get errors. Why does it say missing comma though? That's a random error message. Missing comma. I don't think that the set font takes commas. It's right here. Wait, comma. It's actually referring to this, actually. Missing comma. What do you mean missing comma? I see a comma right in the middle. Right there, there's a comma. My custom font here makes it really hard to tell if something's a quotation, like a, either some quotation mark right there. See, for some reason, since the comma actually goes before the baseline, I guess that glitches this out. It doesn't glitch out any other text. It only glitches this out. I don't even know what this missing comma thing is. It just suddenly started appearing. It's more referring to line 5. Actually, I think I see the mistake. There's no ending parenthesis. I guess I assumed that the square bracket was a parenthesis. Well, that technically still was required, though. The question is, what missing comma is it talking about? There's a 1 right there. How did I put a 1 there? I thought I was referring to the previous line, because sometimes the error is technically talking about the line before it, but it doesn't tell you that. Kind of annoying, but now we'll get this. But however, though, something tells me if we puke it with the right variables. I keep thinking I don't need that number for some reason. Heh! If you shoot before it ends, in a traditional video game way, it instantly jumps up to how it's supposed to look. Which is kind of funny because I didn't even intend it to behave that way. Okay, there we go. I don't know why, but if you enter 0, test appears. I'm probably going to reverse those 2 numbers in the final version so that 0 is blank. Because then that means that I can make this giant dialogue box appear and explain to you stuff. Even though that would kind of contradict the whole use print unless in a cutscene that the player has no control over. Because I don't want this big dialogue appearing and covering up all the action behind it, because sure, if you shoot it goes away, but still. It shouldn't appear at any moment where the player needs to see something. Even though it's still pretty looking though. Alright, at least when I shoot now it disappears. But maybe I should try making one of those scripts just to see if I can make one of these things. Because I was talking about how supposedly a script would execute that code down there. Sadly, all scripts have to be numbered because of ACS limitations. Like I said, I can't just give it a string, as I found out the hard way. Because all strings are technically just variables, but they're referred to by their number internally, and that's what the game displays. So sadly, I cannot refer to a script with a name. I can only refer to it by a number. And sure, I could add on another one of these little string array things up here, but why would I do that again? That sounds really dumb. Might as well just embrace this. Even though I kinda hate numbered scripts. They don't seem as good as other scripts. The catch is, this is the old way I do it with print. But nowadays it works a bit different. The way that it works is the same way as puke, except, wait, maybe that's why I thought there were 5, because, see here, there are 5. Except here, arguments are only 3. I hope this doesn't backfire. Here's the inconvenience of it not sticking in the actual variable names here, which means it's ID side picture strips. Picture script. Error. But then why do you say there are 4 arguments? How do I use the 4th argument? Because the 4th argument is the script that it points back to. Unless you're trying to tell me that that one isn't map anymore. That'd be the only way to explain it. Because all I see is named execute. And actually, technically, I could make it a named script instead of 65. But that probably still wouldn't fix anything. But see, it only has 3 arguments as well, so why does the other one allow me to have 4? I don't understand unless the map thing is obsolete, but I wouldn't think it'd be obsolete, as that's totally gonna break many scripts. And how am I gonna dumb this down to only 3 variables? It says unknown script 0. I don't think that last argument can be used. That's really annoying, because I don't know how I'm gonna be able to do this. Unless I make picture another array. Then I make it tie into the ID. It's really dumb. I had to do it with voice, now I have to do it with everything else. Why do you give me an option to use a 4th variable if I can't actually use it? Does CDoom have a new update? Does it have a new update to the ACS or something? Or ACC? That's 2013. I sort of doubt that it hasn't had an update before that. I just don't know if this is out of date though. 6/8/2013. Compilers. CDoom. Oh. 2015. I highly doubt it's 10/16 2015. Date modified. What about the date made or whatever? 8/13/2015. That's a newer one. So apparently this 4th one hasn't even been added in. Wow, this is so annoying, because imagine if they've already added in this 4th variable and I just have an outdated version and don't even know it. Or imagine if this just doesn't work as expected. I mean, I could do this the other way around, but yeah. I can always make picture point to another thing based on the ID. Wow, this is really dumb. Oh, well, now I understand. I'm gonna have to put it to an array of an array. I bet that's what's gonna have to happen. An array of an array. This is really awkward. Thankfully, it's just an int, but I think I'll make it sound like a lump name. Pick map. This is how you make an array, if you're curious. No, it doesn't make any sense before you ask. That's the way you write these things. I'm assuming that's what I do. Pick map 2. Oh yeah, but now it's gonna give errors down here until I fix that. I have to replace the picture link. It has to be replaced with an array of an array. Look at that. It's an array of an array. Wow, something tells me this is not gonna work. It worked. What? Well, okay then. It still kind of bugs me that the 4th what bugs me is how inconsistent it is. Like, look, right here it says script argument 1, 2, 3, and 4. But yet in ACS, I can only do 1, 2, and 3. What's up with this, CDoom? You're confusing me. Wait, unless don't tell me that there's a new version on the DRD team website. Don't tell me there's one on here about ACC or something. How do I get to it though? Dev builds. Ah, I remember that. CDoom ACC. Ah, but the last one was only uploaded in 2012. This is so annoying, because what if I change this and later on I found out that fourth one could have been used? I'm not sure about this. I'm just gonna assume they haven't updated it yet, because something has to be up while you're only allowed to do it on those two very limited ones. Especially execute always. Execute always, that would work. Only named execute always. It actually would work now that I think about it, but only because it's not the one it's pointing at. Still is a bit annoying though. Oh no, why is it redrawing itself? This is that old bug I was talking about. It's the fact that every time it's about to end, it flickers and then it suddenly reappears. It's really inconsistent. Okay, you can flicker on and off now. But wait, I know why it keeps flickering on and off. It's because of the return script. This last argument I give it. Also, the pick map up here, I can now just give it 0 and 0. Now hopefully that'll show the right picture. And the reason why that it refers to it by number like that is because as soon as it's done executing, immediately it's going to suspend itself, I think. I don't know if that's how you suspend it. Is there just... I'm just checking, just in case. Does it require pointless parentheses? Thankfully it doesn't. There's certain things where you have to like type in like a random left and right parenthesis. It's like, what's the point of a random parenthesis? Just makes you wonder, what's the point of a random parenthesis pair like that? Even though it kind of bugs you when it's inconsistent like this. Thankfully, the random pointless parenthesis pair at the end isn't needed. But still though, it still works. So basically what will happen is one of these so-called dialogue scripts, as I explained, will set up a cutscene. Then the last command it does will be this ACS execute. Then it will suspend, and then the other script will call back to it. And apparently if you do an ACS execute on a suspended script, it'll make it keep going. So if I give it another one that does that, well, actually, I think I meant to set it as 101, but oh well, this will make it switch messages too as well. And now this should be our first cutscene with this mysterious system in the game. By puking one, we should see it. This looks like what we've always seen, but it'll now sit here until I push the button. Then it moves on. Okay, so apparently there's no delay whatsoever. If you push the button, it immediately checks. Well, there needs to be a little delay so that you can't just hold down the button. Now I know there's a way to check two variables and then know if you were holding down the button or just push the button, but that sounds like too much work and like it would really increase the number of lines of code. So I'm just gonna avoid that. All I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna make it like have a required wait time before you'll actually be allowed to move on. Really cheap, but still. Right before it prepares this part, it's also going to end up preparing this variable. I'm thinking about getting rid of the attack because I'm pretty sure you can't make complex requirements where you're required to push one button and another and stuff. It can only be or it can be and. It can't be or and. Because I want to check for two different conditions here, and that's what the double thing does right there. Ticks. 135. And then every second this is just going to keep increasing ticks. Now I'm pretty sure it's only a temporary variable, so I'm thinking it must forget about this variable afterwards, but I always want to make sure that that variable isn't going to come back and haunt me, and then we're not going to see it go to wait. So let's see our test cutscene again. So now when I hit this button, yep, see that? It doesn't immediately advance. And then after I hit that, all done cutscene. So that's how a cutscene script works. It works exactly as I originally thought it up in my mind. It prepares a cutscene, it then executes that ACS and it makes itself suspend, it basically switches control to that other script. Then the other script just runs through all of its lines of dialogue, which hopefully will have voice acting, though I for some reason don't hear Arthas and Mary jumping. Because that's actually what their little dummy sounds for this, it just sets them jumping. But still. Then after that it just keeps doing this over and over again until the end, and then after the cutscene's done it obviously gives you back control and makes the camera switch. These cutscenes could take a lot of time, or they could actually be interesting. I still love that you can have nested arrays right here, so we can have an array of an array with an array of that. This may actually work out good, but something tells me pick map is gonna be a pain. But we asked ourselves why these are the internal names. Oh no, I didn't stick that on. How did I get rid of that? Let's say, does it have a problem with internal sound names? Except one thing that obviously this is going to do though, it's quite obviously going to freeze you. Set player property, I think I saw this in like a Terry hackers. No, not the Terry hacks. I believe I've seen them, but I think he actually appeared in Doom 2: The Monster Invasion. And it happens in the teleportation script. I think it's who, set, and then it's like pprop underscore. No, it's not pprop underscore. What is it then? Is there totally frozen? Ah, totally frozen, which means you can't look around during it either. That would ruin it if Arthas was able to turn around in front of the camera during a cutscene where he's staring at a boss, and then saying that he's not scared of him. I mean, obviously that's not what he would do. But still though, it's just an idea of how these are going to work. Now for now, I'm just going to leave the last unfreezing step because I want to try out the thaw command. There's a thaw command, and it makes you unfreeze. So I'm just going to program to jump, and let's try this out. Yep, I'm not able to move. I'm able to make the screen unzoom because I have Minecraft style running. I had it back in the day, but I've now brought back the Minecraft style running where you have to hit W twice to make the screen do that weird unzoom, and then it makes you run. I've managed to bring it back. But other than that, since that's a macro and it just makes the FOV change, the others don't do anything. Not even shooting. So once I hit this, it moves on. But this is how a cutscene will look, essentially. Oh my. Okay, I was about to say, I can't even switch to chase cam. But no, so it'll look more like this. You'll be staring at Arthas as he sits around. Sometimes we do limitations. I'll probably make him just have the default yellow palette, even though I know there's a way to make spawned items translate to your player palette. But I don't know if that'd be worth it. It's like these other things. I don't know if they'd be worth it or not, especially with how I'd have to change them green every time. It worries me. Just worries me about if this would be a good idea or a bad idea. But after this, all done cutscene, I'm still frozen. So let's type in thaw and see if it lets me move. Yep. If you type in thaw, then you're allowed to move. Found this out through a Terry hack video. So, Terry-wad, not Terry hack, but Terry-wad, Terry hack. But however, in the Terry hacks, this doesn't really work though. Because in them, they constantly freeze you. I don't know why, that Zedum doesn't, allow you to move for a short time or anything, but still. But that is proof that my idea works. In theory it works, and there's proof right here that it works. This is actually kinda exciting to find out that this works. I'm still worried about the trolls making you teleport and stuff. That is really annoying and unnecessary, and I don't know why it does it. Wow, these are just like Mr. Vane, they're so easy to stun. Wow. But obviously you're not intended to have something that's cheap. You're intended this. Oh yeah, I don't know what I'm doing here, but anyways, you notice the little colorful pieces on the floor right there? Watch what happens when the next one lands. Yeah, they disappear. The reason why they disappear is because of the corpse queue. Mine is set to 512. By default it's 64. This would normally work for just one corpse. But since mine spawns so many, you practically need a high number if you're going to hope to see them. I'm assuming it's because the trolls spawn so many that the game tries to delete them all, but can't delete these. which would explain why they'd all disappear afterwards. But yet this doesn't happen with the Kirby wheelie enemies. With these guys, you can hit up to 3 of them and none of their things will disappear. As shown here, there's 3 of them. They're not gone yet. The instant I hit another one, they'll disappear. See that this one disappeared? When I hit this one, watch, I think one of these right here will disappear. Both of them disappeared. I guess it depends on the number of pieces it said to spawn, though. I didn't think that was random. Still, proof is here, though. In order to keep the lag from happening, they're now put in a corpse queue, which sadly means you will not see their guts all over the floor when they explode now, and there won't be as many. Although it's the reason why that they keep disappearing, because each is an individual actor. But essentially, this should work exactly as I expected, though. It still bugs me about the trolls, because I only updated GC Doom Builder. I'm pretty sure it doesn't do anything to the ROM that would screw them up, and I never modified them in Slade. So why do the trolls make me teleport through walls when they hit me sometimes? I've seen one of these guys teleport me. I mean, I saw these teleport me once. You saw it when I was demonstrating the weird teleportations. The huge troll teleports me basically every time he hits me now. It never did this before, so that's why I'm questioning it. Also, notice none of the stuff over here is here anymore because the troll's guts just totally overwrote everything. I think that there has to be a lot of trolls. Like, I think that their combined earthquakes is what makes me go through walls and stuff. I don't know how this happens even when I'm in invincibility and not, and it isn't happening when I expect it to. It happens when I jump into them while they're doing this, and then I like teleport all the way across the room. Or I teleport through that wall. It doesn't seem to be happening anymore, which is kind of bugging me. Might as well get rid of them now the old-fashioned way. By hitting them with the hammer, it's so satisfying. There we go. Still, that explosion of guts is really satisfying. But let's bring out the huge troll. The huge troll is the one that makes me teleport through walls. I don't know why. Because again, I haven't modified his code and he never made me go through walls before, so I don't know why. But him hitting me when I'm near him makes me fly. Well, I'm running against him. Okay, I thought that was a teleportation. I was like, oh my, maybe it's not going to happen. Then it suddenly, I went past him like, that's not a teleportation. But yeah, I can safely say he's the one that causes me to teleport. I call it teleport, but it's more like a fly so fast that I go through walls. Like, that ball, player class from that older Doom hack I had. He doesn't make you teleport unless you're running right into him. Run into him for long enough and jump, and eventually he will send you flying. And literally, what angle was I from him? Based on where I teleported to, I was facing this direction. So apparently, he teleports me way off to the left, even though his attack does not send me to the left. It would send me away from him. So why does he teleport me through the wall? I think that I should almost sign up at ZDoom forums and be like, this is a bug report. My enemy makes me fly through walls. This should not happen. Yeah, I don't even have to be standing near him. And he just threw me twice. After a while, he just starts doing it every time. Boom! It happens the instant he tries to hit me. Boom! Teleports me through the wall. I just stand there. What's funny is you don't even have to be near him. You just have to be like slightly near him. Like this distance is enough for him to teleport me, I'm pretty sure. We are here. I think I have to be moving. Yep, you have to be moving. Wait, that's a requirement? You have to be moving for him to teleport you. Nope, you can be staying still and he'll teleport you twice. What is this weird teleportation? Aha. But wow, that teleportation. Did you notice how at first I was literally running into it, but it wasn't triggering the teleportation? After a while, the teleportation just seems to happen every time it chooses to. I don't even understand. Why does it happen this way? And does the huge troll make anyone else teleport? So get near him so I can see if he teleports. He's standing at the right distance. Oh, but the problem is he'll never get near him, so I have to get near him, and I'm probably going to get teleported way out of bounds. Walk near him so I can see if he teleports. Now I kind of wish that I was playing with the second player, so I'd be able to like be the second player and I'd be able to watch the first player teleport, just to be able to see what it looks like. That is technically possible in GZ Doom. It's not just Andromeda that does it. Let's send Space Marine flying because he doesn't know how to listen to orders from his sergeant. It seems like the troll can't hurt anyone. He can only hurt me. Also, Arthas didn't just insult him. I think that's because I added a random chance that he wouldn't talk at all. So yeah, I modified something about it now though. There's actually a chance that your character might not talk, because let's be honest, they're not always going to insult the big enemies. And it would be weird if they didn't insult the bosses when they killed them either, but then again, that'd be done in the cutscene. But look at those extra scripts now. Also, teleport seamless. This one right here, I actually took from Doom 2: The Monster Invasion, and it essentially handles the elevator teleport, which is actually a teleport group, and it basically makes you immediately teleport from one point to another, but it moves you in relation to the object. So there's two objects and it just teleports you in relation to them, which explains why you're able to stand out of the elevator and then suddenly see the interior. It's because it teleports you relative. And that's just how it works, I guess. So obviously that type of teleportation will be done here, but I worry about if it'll really work with the less linear design. I mean, this is still linear design. You're still going down linear corridors, but maybe if I do it correctly, my level design will feel less linear, but the problem is I don't consider myself a good level designer, so, You're not going to expect to see something that isn't a bunch of linear corridors here. But hopefully it still looks good enough. At least that's what I hope, is that it still looks good and it's able to work. So I want to make these invisible on the map. Initially showed on map. Well, there's the opposite. Initially show on map if you want it to always be visible. Don't know why you would that, but still. I never did this before, but let's make all these never be shown on the map. So I'll probably do more modifications though. Then, maybe then we'll see more progress, but still. Until then, the dialogue system